Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing an unhaul as well as my July wrap up. So tomorrow I am going to the bookstore and I figured I would share an unhaul with you guys, show you guys which books I'm bringing to the used bookstore. I'm generally getting credit for these books, but I'm also feeling good because I'm bringing them to a bookstore where other people will find these books and potentially read them. So that's exciting. And yeah, I'm hopefully going to find some new books while I'm there tomorrow. I definitely will be looking for some, and I have one on hold that they got for me. So I'll probably do like a book haul video with the stuff that I get. It's actually when you see this video, the following day will be my birthday too. So maybe I'll get some books then as well. Who knows? But yeah, so you can look forward to a book haul in the future. But today, the purpose of this video is to share books that I'm getting rid of. So let's go through that list. The first one I have on my list is this masterpiece, Buried Cold Case Secrets. If you guys follow me at all, then you know that I read this book and I hated it. I gave it a 2 stars. It was just so predictable and just bad. Not a good murder mystery. I was hoping for something a little bit better. And yeah, no, it wasn't it. So getting rid of this one. I'm also getting rid of this mass market Tom Clancy book because I don't even know how I got this. I feel like I might have got this from like the magical laundry room when we lived in the apartment building where random things would show up in there. And I think that's where I got this. It's in like really, well, I wouldn't say really, but it's in pretty good condition. So somebody might like this book. I've never read a Tom Clancy book. I don't even know why I grabbed this. So it's going to the used bookstore. Then we have this pristine hardcover edition of The Wisdom of Crows. And this is Joe Abercrombie book. I had picked this up for Marcus at one point because I thought he might like it, but he told me that this is like a book way down the line in this series. So it's definitely not one that you can just pick up and read. You have to read all the previous ones first. So yeah, I'm gonna bring this one back to the used bookstore and have it there for somebody else to find. Then we have Bright Young Things. This book was on my shelf. I believe I might have gotten this from a friend way back when I lived in another city, and I don't think I'm going to be reading this ever. So I'm just going to bring it to the bookstore for somebody else to read. Then I have these 3 books. These were given to me by a former roommate, and I don't think I'm going to read them. It was a very nice gesture of them to give me these books, but I found them in a box that I forgot about, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to read them. So the first one's called Circus. Ooh. Circus. And then we got the original 1982. And then we got The Blue Helmet. So if you guys have read any of these books and they're good, let me know and maybe I'll keep them, but otherwise they're going to the bookstore. Then I'm going to send off this cover of The Wizard of Oz. This is the UK Bookishly box special cover that they put over it. So yeah, it's Bookishly and then it's just the regular Wizard of Oz underneath. But I think somebody will find joy in this, seeing it in like this covered version. So yeah, I'm sure somebody will enjoy this. Then I have Body Swap, and this book was actually sent to me by a publishing press in Ontario when I was just starting out my blog. I read this book. I actually did really enjoy this book. I just don't think I'm going to read it again, so that's why I'm bringing it to the bookstore. This one follows along with a 14-year-old and I think it's like an 82-year-old, and they end up switching bodies, and so it's just them like kind of navigating that and trying to get back into their own bodies, but also like navigating lots of social situations where they're just awkward and funny. So it was pretty enjoyable. It was essentially a Freaky Friday, but just like with a younger and older person. But I had a lot of fun with it. And I also really love the like colors on the cover. It's very, very like pastel-y, like nice blue and pinks. So I like it. Then I'm going to bring Vermin. So I actually read this one. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to reread it. So that's why I'm bringing it to the bookstore so that somebody else could try this book and experience this story. But yeah, I didn't have anything bad to say about this book. I just don't think I'm going to read it again. So I'd rather give it to somebody else and let them have the opportunity to read it. Same goes with Dark Cloud. This is a graphic novel that was sent to me. I enjoyed this graphic novel story, and now I'm going to bring it to the store so somebody else can enjoy it. I had nothing bad to say about it. I probably won't read it again. So yeah. And then last on this list, I have Black, White, and Gray All Over. I'm only bringing this one because I actually have 2 copies. The author sent me a second one by accident. So I don't see any point in having 2 of the same book. So I'll bring one to the used bookstore. And I'm actually currently reading this. This one's the one that like I keep picking up on and off. And I'm about like halfway through this one. And it's pretty decent so far. So yeah. All right, so those are all the books that I'm bringing to the bookstore or unhauling, and now I guess we can get into my wonderful July wrap-up. Yeah, it was pretty great. I read a whole 2 books in July, and that's sad, I know. I really need to get back into reading, but I'm in like some sort of reading slump. I don't know, it's just like I will read, and I'll read for chunks of time, but I'm just not like gravitating towards books at all. I'm not being pulled to read or like wanting to read, but I'll force myself and I will get some done. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just in this slump, and I'm trying to get out of it. And August seems to be promising because I have a nice August TBR that I think will pull me out of it. I have a lot of books on there that are very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think it's going to help. But yeah, July was just a rough reading month. So the first one I'll put up is Lakes of Mars. I'll put it up here. This is the one that I was actually pretty proud of myself for, because this is the oldest book on my NetGalley TBR, and I finally got to it. I've had this book since 2018, and so I feel like very proud at the fact that I actually made it through the entire book. I finished it. I put my review in on NetGalley 4 years late, and now it's done. So I am very excited that I did manage to do that. I ended up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a really fun, like sci-fi, where this guy goes to this kind of like training academy. He's trying to go to like the front line for this war that's happening, but ends up getting put into the training academy instead of like going straight out to I think it's called the Rim. And so he's put in this training academy and he makes friends, but then there's like a lot of different dynamics happening in this training academy, and he kind of has to navigate through that and try and survive, because like it actually gets pretty brutal, and lots of things happen. Things are revealed. There's like fun stuff where the book kind of ends and it leaves you in like a position for more, because this is actually a series. I would say the last 40% was very action packed, and I enjoyed that. There were a couple instances though where the character used the R word, and I was not a big fan of that, because it was like being used in a sense where it's like a negative connotation, and I don't know. Anytime that happens, it pulls me right out of a book, and I just kind of like get upset. That I found was kind of not necessary, and it kind of lowered my rating a little bit. I also felt that some of the things in the training academy were a little unrealistic, but at the same time, this book was action-packed from like start to finish. And I do really like the whole training academy like trope. I like when students go through that kind of thing. Hence like Red Rising, they're literally like in a training academy to be like space fleet commanders. So like that was really cool. But yeah, so it was like right up my alley style-wise, but just little things that kind of like brought it down. I also felt that the main character was building a relationship with somebody in this book that it kind of like wasn't realistic in how quick it advanced. And so I was just kind of hoping that they had more time to like build that relationship. It would have made more sense if they had more time to build that relationship. So yeah, that was just another little thing. And then the one other book that I read was Master of One. And this is the book that I believe like started putting me in the slump, because it was rough. I spent so long, like I think I spent 3 weeks trying to read this book. I mean, I did, I finished it, but it took me 3 weeks to read it. And normally I'm a lot faster at reading books. I mean, I'm a slow reader, but like I'm faster at than 3 weeks for one book. And yeah, so this one was a Fae story, which was kind of one of like the selling points for me. I was excited to read another Fae book since reading the Cruel Prince series. Like I really enjoyed that one. So I was looking forward to this one, but this one is about these people that are kind of like hunting down these relics, and the Fae are supposedly like wiped out. But the main character actually discovers a Fae in like the very beginning of the book. It's also in the synopsis, so that's not like spoilery or anything. and they kind of have to work with this person to find these other like ancient relics that will give them power. So we have a whole live stream about this because this was our Phase and Gaze book club. Kind of funny because it's like Phase and Gaze. But yeah, this was our book club pick. And we all gave it, well, I gave it 2 stars. Sandra gave it 2 stars. And Cecilia gave it 1 star. So everybody hated the book. They did not enjoy it. It was just, there were a lot of characters thrown in that were all so similar. Like they didn't really feel like they had any individuality at all. And there was one character that you could tell they tried to make different. So they just like make them swear a lot. But that was like only the only thing that was like changing them from the other characters. And it just felt like they were always journeying to do something, but never actually doing anything. So it was just like a constant like traveling book with nothing happening. So it was, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of frustrating. And like lots of little things just didn't make sense. And I don't know. It didn't need to be like over 500 pages. This definitely could have been like a 300-page book, and I think that would have helped it. So, yeah. Not all of them are going to be great. And that's it for my book Unhaul and wrap up. Let me know in the comments down below if any of those books I should keep, if you know about them and they're good or something. Like some of them I hadn't read, so if they're really good, tell me. But otherwise, hopefully I get them to the place where some other readers will find them, pick them up, and enjoy their stories. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as linked by my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.